Tony's Town Square on a nice summer's evening. Liberty Tree when the lanterns are gleaming. Cosmic rays in the fall, the Plaza in the spring. These are a few of my favorite things. The Diamond Horseshoe will have my gut bursting. Be our guest Bill will have your wallet hurting. Eating a dough whip near Skipper's Canteen. These are a few of my favorite things. Hi, I'm Cole and welcome to our home. As you can probably tell, I love the restaurants in the Magic Kingdom. However, some restaurants are better than others. This is why I would love to rank every single restaurant in the Magic Kingdom from worst to best. I only have a few rules for my list. 1, I will not be ranking seasonal restaurants because I've not eaten at any of them. And 2, I will only be ranking the major restaurants. So no Friar Nooks, Main Street Bakery, etc. And for this list, I'm going to be considering cost. So a restaurant might have amazing food, but it might be too expensive for my taste. But with that out of the way, let's start with number 14, Skipper's Canteen. I know I'm starting with a very controversial choice, but to be honest, I'd be in denial if I put this restaurant higher up. This restaurant is based on the ride The Jungle Cruise, fit with an exotic menu, punny cast members, and a jungle atmosphere. I feel like this restaurant was missing more beef products, to be honest, but I don't know, that might have been a missed steak. But I would be lying if I said this restaurant had a bad ambiance. And many people love this restaurant, so maybe you should try it once or twice. But for me, I don't know if I can go back to this restaurant. But remember, this restaurant may be last, but it's not least. Number 13, Tony's Town Square. This restaurant is themed after the classical Lady and the Tramp movie, serving Italian food to its patrons. I know this restaurant doesn't have the greatest Italian food, but the little touches around the restaurant are fun to see. Things like the Lady and the Tramp heart engraved into the cement give this restaurant a great sense of charm. Most people seem to think this restaurant is kind of alright, so we feel this restaurant fits in at the number 13 spot. Number 12, the Diamond Horseshoe. The rootinest tootinest restaurant in the Magic Kingdom. Well, except for that other one. This restaurant serves Western-inspired food similar to its California counterpart. The food here has been pretty good in our experience, but I do feel this restaurant has a few flaws. One flaw has to be that there's no bathrooms in this restaurant. So if you need to use the restroom, you have to walk out of the restaurant, head into Adventureland, go to those bathrooms, then walk back to this restaurant. I mean, even Liberty Tree has a bathroom, and that's historically inaccurate. And am I the only one who thinks the Adventureland bathrooms are disgusting? I mean, seriously, those pirates need some Cheerios for aiming. I'm sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. Number 11, Columbia Harbour House. Ahoy there, landlubbers! Would ye like to ride the 7 seas and eat the finest sandwiches in Disney World? Well, Columbia Harbour House is a quick service restaurant for you. And while most quick service food here is comparable to other quick services, some food like the bread bowl is quite unique. If life at sea is no life for you, you may not enjoy this restaurant. But as for myself, I'll be singing sea shanties for years to come. Number 10, Cosmic Rays, Starlight Cafe. An out-of-this-galaxy restaurant for sure. This restaurant is themed after space, fit with an alien singer who plays songs all day, serving out-of-this-world burgers. My biggest complaint with this restaurant has to be the food. I always have really dry food in this restaurant, and if you couldn't tell, I value food above almost everything else. But to compensate, this restaurant has a great atmosphere, and that is probably the best part of this restaurant. Sony Eclipse has to be one of the coolest aliens in the galaxy, and the general theme is pretty good too. I just wish my food was less dry. If we fix this small issue, I think this restaurant would be in my top favorites. Number 9, Casey's Corner. This restaurant themed after the classic poem Casey at the Bat is the cat's meow, serving hot dogs that will make you feel like the bee's knees. What can I say? Disney hit a home run with this restaurant on Main Street, and while I'm not the biggest hot dog eater, I would say this restaurant can pump out some fine dogs. It's also a great place to go and grab a cup of water, so stay hydrated out there. Hold up, partner, because coming in at number 8 is Pasos Bill's Tall Tale Inn and Cafe, the other wildest restaurant in Disney World. This restaurant is themed after young Sheriff Pasos Bill and serves different Mexican and general types of foods. While most of the food is pretty good, the slushies they provide are better than your grandmama's cornbread. And overall, the restaurant is themed pretty well. With this restaurant's theming and good food, we would wrangle this restaurant in at number 8.
Number 7. This could be a place for any old restaurant, but it just happens to be the place of a special restaurant named the Crystal Palace. The buffet-style restaurant is themed after the original Crystal Palace in England, serving many different assortments of food. They also provide a good number of Winnie the Pooh characters to take memorable photos with. It is also an amazing place to view beautiful sights of Cinderella's castle. The service here is pretty good too, with responsive cast members who are able to quickly bring us our bills and drinks. Such a nice restaurant in the Magic Kingdom, I feel, deserves the number 7 spot.
Number 6, the Plaza Restaurant, another great restaurant on Main Street. I know many people seem to forget about this restaurant, but the Plaza is kind of underrated. This turn-of-the-century inspired restaurant serves casual American-inspired foods. I love to eat the loaded fries and drink bottomless milkshakes here, and honestly, the food is priced reasonably. But like I said, this restaurant is pretty forgettable, and I think that has to do with the ambiance. If I were to retheme it, I may go for something like beaches and cream. But for now, the Plaza Restaurant sits right where it is. Number 5, Pinocchio's Village House. So if you've heard our review of this restaurant, you would know we love this place. Pinocchio's Village House is based, you guessed it, around Pinocchio, serving Italian-inspired foods. It has plenty of seating areas, great food for quick service, and a great price. The only reason this restaurant is not at the top of the list is that the next few restaurants are just that amazing. Number 4, Be Our Guest Restaurant at Breakfast and Lunch. Yeah, this list isn't getting confusing at all. For the uninitiated, Be Our Guest Restaurant is a quick service at both breakfast and lunch. However, at dinner, it's a table service. In this restaurant, you can dine in the Beast Castle, eating casual food like eggs for breakfast and sandwiches for lunch. The ambiance alone should put this restaurant near the top of the list, but to help, the food is great too. The major thing that keeps this restaurant down has to be the cost. Lowering the cost would probably raise the status of this restaurant, but for now, it is most definitely my favorite quick service. Number 3, Cinderella's Royal Table. This is by far the most popular restaurant to take your picture in front of. That is because you eat inside Cinderella's castle. This restaurant is themed around Cinderella and serves American and signature style foods. There's something special about eating inside Cinderella's castle, but there are quite a few drawbacks. For one, the menu seems to be split to me. One half I find to be really good, while the other half is not so great. And while Cinderella has a pretty good meet and greet, the other princesses feel like they're just rushed to each guest. And of course, we can't avoid the price. By far, this restaurant is one of the most expensive restaurants in all of Walt Disney World. However, with all that said, I would say that the pros outweigh the cons in this scenario. And I mean, you're eating in Cinderella's castle. You really can't make your daughter feel any more like a real Disney princess. Number 2, Be Our Guest Restaurant at Dinner, or as I like to call it, Cinderella's Royal Table 2.0. Why would I make such high claims? Well, I feel that Be Our Guest Restaurant at Dinner has better, if not just as great, of food, character meet and greets, service, and ambiance as Cinderella's Royal Table. In particular, the French onion soup is worthy of the number 2 spot alone, but they also provide a great steak and one of the best desserts on Disney property. The fly in the proverbial soup of this restaurant has to be the cost. It is just way too expensive to qualify as my favorite restaurant in the Magic Kingdom, but then you may be asking, if this restaurant is so great, what is the number 1 spot on the list? Well, number 1, Gaston's Tavern. I mean, have you tried LeFou's Brew? I'm joking. In my opinion, the best restaurant in the Magic Kingdom is really Liberty Tree Tavern. This restaurant is based around American history and serves many Thanksgiving-inspired dishes. So this restaurant has so much going for it. The ambiance is amazing, the price is fairly cheap, and have I mentioned the bathrooms here yet? Best of all has to be the food. If you order the Patriots platter, you are almost guaranteed to eat something amazing every time you eat here. Whether that's the turkey, the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, something almost always is amazing. And again, this restaurant has one of the best desserts on Disney property. Strangely enough, this restaurant also is easy to book compared to other dining options on this list. I've had so many great experiences at this restaurant, so I feel this restaurant is the best of the best in the Magic Kingdom. Well, thank you all for watching. This video was so much fun to make, and I know I may have been a little critical of some of these restaurants. However, at Disney, restaurants seem to have a certain kind of magic to them. So if you felt some restaurants on my list should be higher up, we realize that every Disney restaurant provides something great. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and comment to us what you would like to see us rank in the future. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to subscribe to the channel with notifications on. But that's all from us today, and until next time, from our house to yours.